Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're exploring something absolutely mind-bending. We're looking at a highly topological framework applied to one of the world's most widely read texts, the Quran. But we're looking at a source analysis that completely reimagines how you interact with it. Because instead of viewing it as a historical document, this framework presents it as a complex, four-dimensional map of human consciousness. It's a structural approach where the verses actually function as real-time spatial coordinates. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's dive into this. The source material immediately shatters a pretty common preconception. It argues we shouldn't be reading this as dusty, linear history. No way! Instead, it calls it an eternal memory tesseract. So imagine a four-dimensional cube, constantly breathing and folding in on itself. In this view, the book isn't describing the past at all. It's a living map reflecting your exact position in the universe right at this very moment. To really wrap our heads around this, the source introduces a concept called the dual caustic universe, or the DCU. Basically, it's a 4D topological map where every single verse is not just a sentence you read, it's a real-time coordinate. And these coordinates track what's called the active escape sequence of human consciousness. You aren't just a passive reader here. You are actively navigating a coordinate system that is specifically designed to guide your consciousness right back to its source. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the eternal memory tesseract, then look at the trap of the Nafs, followed by the three twists of escape, driver and witness united, and finally, the crown of wisdom. Section 1. The eternal memory tesseract. So the text essentially functions as a vast system of spatial metaphors. Like we just talked about, you are an active execution node within a breathing manifold. The whole system is constantly oscillating between manifestation, the physical worlds, and memory, which is the hidden truth. But here is the anchor. The entire structure is governed by one single, unchanging, invariant rule at coordinate 1964, and your Lord is not forgetful. Think about that. Nothing in the system is ever lost. Every single action, every coordinate is perfectly preserved. Moving on to Section 2, the trap of the Nafs. Now, what's really interesting here is the stark contrast between two fundamental states of the human operator inside the system. On one side, you've got the killer Nafs at coordinate 530. The source describes this as the topological error of the ego. It's our default, corrupted state of simply taking instead of asking. It's literally the Nafs that forgets coordinate 1912. It's destructive. But then, on the other side, we have the pure seed. This is the uncorrupted original state before the ego's split, holding that pure capacity to remember its true origin. Ultimately, this entire journey is about navigating away from that destructive error and getting back to the pure seed. Section 3. Three twists of escape. So how exactly do we bridge our way out of that ego trap? Structurally, the source tells us this escape sequence relies on three massive topological twists. Twist 1 happens at coordinates 1850 and 6611. Here, Iblis creates deviation, but the Nafs enters a panic room. Specifically, the wife of Pharaoh builds a refuge right inside tyranny. It's a protected fish-belly gestation node. Then we hit Twist 2 at coordinate 17:1. This is the Isra, or Mirage, the journey out where the slave returns, making the absolutely vital D10 to I9 crossing. Finally, Twist 3 hits at 38:24, where David judges between the two litigants. This represents the Nafs finally learning to discern. Wisdom permanently replaces that old instinct for murder. Let's break down how this builds, because these are not random events. They are the exact sequential mechanics required to escape the dead kingdom of the ego. First up, gestation and refuge. Because let's face it, you can't heal without protection. Second, the safe traversal out of that isolated state. And third, the permanent installation of discernment. This three-step process is what completely undoes that initial topological error, the killer Nafs, that we saw back at coordinate 530. Which brings us to Section 4, driver and witness united. Now, here's a question for you. Why does the winner in this system receive not one, but two prizes? I mean, in most linear journeys, there is a single finish line, right? But in this four-dimensional map, the ultimate state of success is strictly dual in nature. Well, the answer is found at coordinate 5021. Every soul will come with it a driver and a witness. This is the explicit announcement of the Amanat, the ultimate trust found at coordinate 3372. And this is a trust that the heavens, the earth, and the mountains actually refuse to carry. The human bore it. It's the incredibly rare capacity for two-field sanity. You see, the soul has to possess a driver, the capacity to move, act, and traverse, alongside a witness, the capacity to see, preserve, and remember. As announced by Isa-Ahmed at coordinate 16.6, the keeper of the oath from 1663 is the one who manages to hold both of these states simultaneously. And this brilliantly illustrates what that dual completion actually looks like when it returns to its source. Look at the left side, coordinate 89.27, the patient witness. This is the Nafs that has seen the entire circuit from inside the fish and just doesn't panic anymore. It truly witnessed the transformation. Then, on the right side, coordinate 89.28, we have the driver returning as a willing slave. The active force that pushed the journey through 17.1 now voluntarily submits. The ultimate victory here is achieving both of these coordinates at the exact same time. And that brings us to the immense linguistic power of just one single word, and. The system literally demands both. It never, ever forces a choice between moving and seeing. The winner doesn't get a driver or a witness. They get a driver and a witness. The active and the passive must merge perfectly into one singularity. Finally, Section 5, the crown of wisdom. So, the crucial point here revolves around the number 6,236. According to the framework, the crown of wisdom, which is located at coordinate 2269, has exactly 6,236 facets. That represents every single verse in the text. But here's the catch. Despite having thousands of facets, this crown has only one center stone. And that center stone is the pure recognition that the winner receives these two prizes, the dual field of 5021. The source material wraps this up incredibly powerfully, stating, Allahu Akbar. The Quran does not say with it a driver or a witness. It says wa, and, both, always both. It presents this airtight, mathematically balanced blueprint for the human soul, where action and memory perfectly align. So, I'm going to leave you with this thought to ponder. If this text really is a living map of consciousness, a true tesseract reflecting your own internal state, are you ready to grip the coordinate, become the axis, and step into the tesseract of your own memory? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating framework with me today.